The 2022 TNR Touring Car title is settled. So we now have two races more or less just for fun, and for the penultimate race of the season we have Graham on random grid pole position with Lee alongside in his Mercedes. And who's going to get the best start? We've got Andy also to the right of the screen in third place. Jake makes a really good start of the BMW towards the back, but runs into Dom and almost takes them both out, but still tries to get through and still can't. He doesn't back off at all and ends up losing out as a result. Dave going really wide in the background, has come up a long way from the back, but he's all the way around the outside. He's in the wrong place, and it's Lee fighting with Graham as we head in towards Druid's hairpin. He gets through, a brilliant move from Lee, and then Graham pushes, but also Lee didn't give any space, did he? There's contact everywhere, there's cars all over the show. Up and over goes Lee's Mercedes. Well, a bit difficult to call that, because really Lee pretty much had the place, but didn't have a full overlap, and perhaps should have left a little bit more space on Graham. Definitely aggressive from Graham, but Graham has the right to keep his foot in as well. So we try and get it all back together. It's safety car, and we have Graham leading in the Renault Megane two-tone green car there. Mark is in second place in the Vauxhall. Jake is trying to drive around everybody, not quite sure what he's trying to achieve there. It is safety car conditions. Anyway, Mark is in second. Dave's come up from towards the back of the grid up to third place, courtesy of the massive pile-up of cars. Dubs is fourth in his Renault. Sam in fifth, likewise. Tom sixth, Dom seventh. Andy's eighth in the Vauxhall Astra. Dropped a long way down from third in the first lap melee. And then we've got Martin, Lee and Jake rounding out the finishers. Graham leads everybody away through Sterling's. And we're back up to racing speed. Good restart from Graham. Mark goes with him, Dave a little bit further back. And it's Renault, Vauxhall, BMW in the top three. A good mix of cars. Bit of sideways from Graham's car as he goes through the final bend. Mark looking much tidier. Really good run from the Vauxhall Astra as they head down the straight. Won't be an opportunity for a move this time, but it does bring him a little bit closer. And just a little bit further back, we've got Dubs and Sam going hammer and tongs over what is fourth place at the moment. Both of them sliding those Renaults through turn one. Both of them keeping them on track. And you've got Tom and Dom not much further back. Again, that trademark lock-up from Dave's BMW as he goes through Druid's bend, down through Graham Hill into the left-hander, and nobody really close enough to make moves at this stage. A little bit further back is Lee trying to make a move. No, Lee's got a very battered car. Again, only cosmetic damage, but a lot of damage to Martin's BMW and Lee's Mercedes. Martin in the wars again in this race. We'll go to the race leaders though, less than a second between them. Mark seems to have that Astra working well. And we go on board with the Vauxhall man. Through the right-hander. Clips the curve nicely. Up through, the Sheen curve at Sterling's. And Graham makes a bit of a mistake up ahead. That's going to put him under some pressure. A really good line from the Vauxhall man as we head down towards the final turn. And Graham really under some massive pressure now from Mark. And Graham knows how difficult that Astra is to drive, and Mark tries to get up the inside. He's going to do it as they head in towards turn one. It's a superb piece of driving by both of them really, because space was given by Graham. Mark's driven hard but fair there and gets into the lead in the Astra. We managed to keep it there for a whole race. He's already won one this season. Graham tries to go all the way around the outside through the hairpin at the top of the hill. Can't quite do it. Thinks better of it and falls back into second place for the time being. The BMW in third, unable to close on those guys at the moment. Dubs actually, shout out to Dubs, he's got some really good pace in his Renault just a little bit further back, and we've got some battling going on between Dom and Tom. Dom trying to get back past, and now are we side by side once more? We are. Look at the pace difference of the Renault in the straight line. He can just drive all the way around the outside of Mark. Mark's going to lean on him a little bit. I don't even know if there was contact. There was such great driving between the two of them. So clean, so fair, and Mark bounces over the curb. It could be a track limits infringement for that, but you know, you've got to give it everything you've got, haven't you? And now the BMW man is right on the case, with Dubs just behind as well. We've got 4 for the lead, and Sam not too far off joining in, and Graham goes into Mark. There's more contact, and that's quite aggressive again. And now Dave is pushing the Astra along as we head towards the final turn. It's 4 for the lead. Dubs is now getting past Dave, but can't quite do it on the outside. Graham's gone all the way around the outside of the Vauxhall Astra as we head down towards turn 1. Mark might feel a little bit aggrieved at that. It did look again a little bit aggressive from the front end of Graham's car, but nevertheless Graham is through into the lead, and the Vauxhall man now under pressure from Dave's BMW, but Graham goes defensive into turn 1. This time Mark tries to go around the outside of the hairpin. Dave's on the inside of the BMW trying to vie for second place. Thinks better of it though, backs out of it, and it is still status quo. Now we've got 5 for the lead, because Sam, who's had some really good runs at Brands Hatch this season, whether it be at the Indy circuit for round 1 or at this GP circuit for the final meeting, he's been going grey guns in the Renault Megane, and it is definitely 5 for the lead this time. What an excellent way to be finishing the season. The BMW's got an overlap, gets up to second place, has managed to get past Mark's Vauxhall Astra, and now Dubs will try and follow through. Can't quite. Oh, Mark runs into the back of the BMW. Just a difference of cornering speeds those cars can do. Mark's got the Astra set up brilliantly through the fast corners. The BMW just not quite so quick, and Mark loses it. I don't know if there was contact from Dubs or not. He loses it, goes off in the wall, same place that he did in the previous race, and that now promotes Dubs up to 3rd place with Sam in 4th, but it is still very much 5 for the lead, and Tom is catching up, although he's lost it. He's spun into the pit lane. Oh, that's Tom out of contention. And what a topsy-turvy race. Dom going slow in the background as well. I don't know if he's got a problem. He's getting passed by Lee, so Lee's now managed to get up to 6th place. But a pretty desperate race for Lee, a pretty sad race after that lap 1 incident. Call it either way, whatever you think. But now Sam and Dubs going side by side over that final podium spot. Sam gets, I'd say, nerfed a bit wide. I don't think it was contact, but I think it just runs a bit wide. Mark back up the inside. What great racing we're having. And Sam loses it a little bit. Mark now up to back up to 4th position, with Dubs in a podium position at the moment. The question is, can Dave catch Graham for the victory? It's Renault versus BMW, and at the moment you've got to say the BMW perhaps a slight pace advantage, just keeping with him, and he's got that gap now within a second. And Mark and Sam almost side by side there, so Sam back up to 4th place. A real stellar drive from Sam, who has struggled at times in the Touring Car Series, but is ending the season in style. It's good to watch. Up front, right, well, the BMW, yeah, within a second, but not anywhere near close enough for a move, and quite some speed along the straight. The 2 race leaders go up the hill into Druid's hairpin. You can hear the Renault engine bouncing off the rev limiter of Graham's car. The BMW trying to follow neat and tidy from the BMW. Graham looks like he's pushing much harder at this stage, but he's not struggling for pace. Both of them going really well, but there's only half a second in it this time. As we go along the straight, let's see, has Graham fixed his gearing issues? Yes. So well over 200 kilometres now, and then you can just see the BMW catching in the toe, but it is leery on the back end, especially when you've got the bumps. It's a fairly bumpy track, this. But will Graham hold on? We've got a lap and a half left to run. The BMW's definitely as close as it's ever been. Not sure it's going to be enough though. In the background we've got more fighting between Dubs and Sam and Mark. Mark running over the curb, picking up the dust in the Astra. final opportunities then for Dave coming up. We have just one lap left to run. We have just less than 0.3 of a second in it between these boys. It's fantastic to watch. These two teammates last season in the Astra, and they had some good tussles, they had some good battles. Haven't actually fought each other a huge amount on track this year, but this is the closest they've been, and Dave trying to make it 2 out of 2 today's races. Graham trying to get his first win of the season. Graham, incidentally, I think has the second highest number of victories this season, but hasn't had the luck in some of the races, and hasn't strung as many points together as the likes of Lee has in his Renault. But it is so close on this final lap. Is Dave going to go for it? There's less than 1/10 of a second between them. Dave thinks about it, thinks better of it. Huge slide from the BMW. That could be opportunity lost, but that's better than losing the race completely, because that could have ended up in the barriers. And yeah, I think Graham's going to hold on to it now. Further behind, Sam's got ahead of Dubs, we've missed that whilst we've been watching the race lead. And Mark is off again, and another slide from Dave, I think we just saw in the foreground. But coming across the line to win once more, and in the penultimate race of the season, it is going to be Graham takes victory for Renault. Dave is going to be a fine second place from towards the back of the grid in the BMW, and Sam an excellent third place there. Another podium at Brands Hatch for Sam in the touring cars, just ahead of Dubs, who held him honest to the line. Mark 5th place, 6th to Lee. A good recovery really after a horrible first lap for him. Dom is 7th and Martin 8th. You can see all the crumpled bonnets suggesting there have been incidents. Jake is going to come across the line 9th, and Tom is going to be 10th. And then rounding out the finishers is Andy in the Vauxhall Astra across the grass.